stick a move in the ring. You can hit me with a word you fling.
Yeah, how's coming back to fighting after a while, and you're entering this quarantine and long flights. You're not used to the long flights, right? You're usually being here in Asia and then just not even traveling that far to fight. So how has it been for you?
I mean, it's a new experience, but I've adjusted pretty well. The first few nights, probably only got about 3 or 4 hours of sleep, so not the best, but I slept pretty well last night. I think I'm starting to adjust to the time period, so it's just some more adversity to conquer, take it in stride. I mean, I think most of us are doing, a pretty far travel. I know Russia's not quite as bad as from the States, but Yusup's dealing with the same thing, so we're on an even playing ground, and no worries for me.
You're originally from Florida, am I correct, right? So you went back to Florida. You were in Singapore. Why did you decide to go back home? Is it just because of the COVID stuff going on?
I mean, to be honest, it really wasn't. It wasn't a decision made by me. There was just some situations going on at Evolve, and they decided to go a different route. So, I had to go back to the States because in Singapore you have to have a work permit, which I no longer had. So, decided to go back to the States, and then, when I first got back, it was trying to decide what camp was going to be the right place for me. And I originally actually went and checked out a place called Worthen MMA in Texas, and I mean, they had a great team, a great coach over there, and it just wasn't the right fit for me at the time. I wanted to be back near family in Florida and stuff like that, so I went and checked out the gym with Henry Hoof and Sanford MMA, and it was a perfect fit, and I'm super glad that I just happened to stumble on going down there, and it's been awesome so far.
Was there a connection there? Like, did you know some, because there's a lot of fighters that compete in one championship that are at what is it, Sanford? So was there a connection?
Yeah, I mean, I knew of Ongla. We've spoken a few times. We've hung out in the back after and before my fights and stuff like that. So we knew of each other, and I spoke to him a few times. I knew Martin was there, so I knew the connection to one was there. I knew that super high caliber fighters, and the coaching was going to be good. So it was a no-brainer for me to go down there and check it out. And I spent a week there training, and ended up being like a great week. So I decided to just pack everything up, and me and my wife moved down immediately, and been grinding ever since.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I want to say it's a factory of fighters, but it's just the highest level from every promotion around the world. It's one of the biggest gyms in the world, one of the best gyms in the world. So who have you been your closest training partners out there?
Oh man, there's so many names in that gym. It's hard to keep up. It also depends, because a lot of the guys come in for camps, but they're from different countries and stuff like that. So it just depends on who's there training for a camp. When I first came in, Martin was training for his fight with Ton Lee, so we had a lot of rounds together. Now that he's back home, it's more so just the people that are around my size. I mean, there's UFC fighters, one championship fighters, Bellator fighters, people from the lower level circuits that are making their way up, but are just as talented. So, I'm getting great work everywhere. I don't want to say names because I feel like I'm going to leave people out. There's too many. But it's just nice to test my skills against people that are proven at the highest level, world champions. And I know where I stand. There's no more guessing game. It's not, am I good enough to be a world champion? I absolutely know I am.
Well, Nick, back to you, man.
Yeah, well, Troy, I know you got to go off to the weigh-ins soon eventually. How's the whole process going this week? How are the hydration tests and the weigh-ins? How's the experience being back in a slightly different kind of fight week?
I mean, yeah, it's absolutely different. You don't get to pick your own training schedule. We have to schedule training blocks, and they're only 45 minutes at a time. You can only get 2 of them, so it's definitely a little bit different, and having to adjust to that, and just not having the availability to go like run outside and stuff like that. But like I said, everybody's dealing with the same circumstances, so it is what it is, and we just got to get through it. You know, I'm just grateful to be back and competing again. So I don't want to make any complaints about anything. You know, one staff has been great. The hotel's been great. Everybody's treated us really well. So I'm just super happy to be back and competing, man. I'm very excited for Friday. I've been gleaming all week, and I just want to go way in and get ready for this fight.
Yeah, and I think you're only allowed to bring one corner out from America. Who have you brought? Have you brought anyone from Sanford? Who's there with you?
Actually, I don't have anybody from Sanford. I have one of my original MMA coaches and wrestling coaches from when I was fighting on the regional circuit before I got into the bigger gyms and stuff, Hank Porcher. And it's just someone that I'm very comfortable with. I like to be around. I trust him with my life. So it's just nice to have him around. And I'm undefeated with him in my corner. I've never lost a fight with him in my corner as a professional. So, you know, it's worked out well so far. So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and you did the media day yesterday. A lot of talk about the fight. This is a huge test for you, isn't it? We were talking to Martin a bit earlier, Martin Nguyen, your new teammate, and he said, yeah, this is a real moment. You can really hit that top 5 and really hit your stride in one championship with a big win on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, like I said yesterday, I don't really consider him like a huge step up as far as competition. You know, I think everybody's really good, and I think everybody just has different skill sets they bring to the game. This is obviously one where we match up much differently than my previous opponents. He's definitely the best grappler I've faced, so I guess that is a test in that circumstance. But you know, I'm not too worried about what he brings to the table. I'm just going to go out there and do what I do, and I think I do that better than anybody else in the world. So super excited to go show and be able to prove to everybody that, you know, I deserve that top 5 ranking, and I'm going to go earn it. And I think I'm going to get it done and get it done impressively.
Do you feel like you're one of the best prospects in one? Or are you annoyed with that tag of being a prospect? Do you want to no longer be seen as a prospect? Do you want to announce yourself as a threat to the title?
I mean, I'm not annoyed with it at all. I think that just comes with the territory. You know, I'm a newer guy in one championship. I'm still a younger guy, so people consider me as an up-and-comer. And I don't have a crazy amount of fights. You know, I'm only 7-0, even though I've been training for a long, long time. And I probably have thousands of fights worth of rounds with high-level training partners, sparring, and I know where I stand in the world, and I know how good I am. It's just my job to go out there and show everybody else. So, you know, I'm not annoyed with it at all. It's just part of the game, man.
We've got some questions in the live chat here. Chris is asking, with Saadulaev being ranked 4th, if you win this, do you feel your next fight is to the belt, or is there going to be another win after that?
You know, I don't know. I guess that's up to one championship. It probably has something to do with how impressive I am in this fight. But, you know, as much as I want the belt, and there's a lot of things that come with the belt that make life better, that's not the goal for me. The goal for me is to be as good as I can as being a mixed martial artist. So if it's not the belt next, I won't be too disappointed. And if it is, that's awesome. But, yeah, I mean, I think Lineker's probably going to fight for the belt next, and I don't want to be on the shelf waiting. So I doubt that my next fight will be for the belt. I want to get right back to being active. So I plan on going finishing this fight, getting home healthy, celebrating some holidays, and then getting right back over here and fighting again.
I'll get your thoughts on Lineker and Bibiano in a bit. Just another question from the chat. Yeah, do you feel you got the development you wanted out of Evolve, or do you think the time could have been better spent at another camp?
Oh, absolutely. You know, there's no hard feelings. I love Evolve as a team. You know, I loved everybody that I worked with inside that place, not just the fighters, you know, the front desk people, the juice bar, the coaches, the instructors, the clients, everybody at Evolve was great. You know, I really loved that gym, and very fond memories. And, training with people like Nong Ogai, Sammy, Kru Rong, like all those guys, my Muay Thai is on a different level than when I walked in that gym. The training partners, Alexi Toivonen leveled up my jiu-jitsu game. Teko Shinzato, one of the BJJ coaches, Alex Silva, I got a million times better while I was there, and I plan on keeping developing. And, all the best to those guys. I miss them dearly, and I hope they keep smashing it this year.
One more quickly about Evolve. Is Heath Sims still there? Asks Chris.
Heath is no longer at Evolve. The head coach is now CR Bahadrazada, but I don't know the details behind all that.
All right. I'll throw it back to John.
What do you think is going to be the key aspect to winning this fight? What part of your arsenal is going to be most effective, do you believe?
I think just my ability to do everything well. I mix everything together. I don't think I'm the best striker in the world. I don't think I'm the best wrestler in the world. And I don't think I'm the best jiu-jitsu guy in the world. But I do think I'm the best in the world at putting everything together, at doing everything equally and being able to transition between the martial arts. So I think just my ability to be fluent through the different phases of the fight are really going to set me apart here. I know he's been working on his striking, and he's been striking a lot more in his recent fights, but there's definitely some big holes there. And it's pretty obvious that Yusup Saadulaev's a high-level grappler, and that's what he wants to do. So, I think he's just coming a little short-handed in the fact that he's very one-dimensional in his game.
You're going to end the year with this fight. 2021 is around the corner. What would you like to accomplish in that year? Do you want to get a certain amount of fights in? You said that the belt is not the main goal. So what do you want to do by the end of 2021? What do you want to accomplish?
For 2021, I just want to be active again, man. I planned on getting 4 or 5 fights this year, and obviously COVID put a stake in that. But, I'm happy that I'm going to be able to sneak in too. And I'm just excited to get active again and just really be back in the gym full time. There's a lot of time throughout this year where we were in quarantine and stuff like that. So I wasn't training. I wasn't really developing my skills as a martial artist. And, I don't want to lose time. A lot of people say I'm a young guy, but, I'm about to be 28, and I don't plan on fighting till I'm 40 like a lot of these guys. So time is my enemy, and I want to spend it all getting better. So I'm excited for 2021 to really settle in at Sanford MMA and spending a lot of time with my new coaches and team and getting better, and then coming over here and performing for you guys. And, just a good 2021 for me is getting better as a martial artist, getting better at life, and being very active in the cage.
Yeah, when you were coming up in your first couple of fights, I automatically thought that you would be a top contender in this division, and that's one of the people that I was saying, like, this guy's gonna fight for the title soon. It's gonna happen eventually, man. His skill set is just undeniable. I'm just trying to compliment you on that. But the thing is, man, it's just this title fight that's coming up, right? Because I know you got your eyes on the division. If you're a competitor, you see the guys that are fighting, and you got a legend like Bibiano, and you got, the knockout artist in the Lineker. What do you think's gonna, who do you think's gonna have the advantage in this fight? What do you think's gonna happen in this fight?
It's a hard one to call, man, just because it's really just who imposes their game plan better. If John Lineker can make it stay on the feet, he probably finishes Bibiano on the feet. And if Bibiano can get it to the mat, I think he probably finishes Lineker on the mat. So it's really just who's going to be able to impose their game plan. Bibiano is getting a little bit older. John Lineker is still a very young guy. He's still getting better every day. I think Bibiano's game is pretty much set in stone. He does what he does, and he does it very well. But it's hard to say. But, honestly, I've seen Bibiano's 3 fights with Kevin. I think John Lineker brings a similar skill set as Kevin, just he does it a little bit better. So I'd probably take John Lineker in that fight, probably a TKO.
Oh, so you see a changing of the guard in some ways.
Yeah, unfortunately too, because I just because of the aura behind Bibiano, the fact that he is the longest reigning champion and one championship, that he has the most defenses. I've been to have been the guy to stop him, but it is what it is, and the belt, it was never the goal for me. Just being the best at what I do is, and I don't think the belt necessarily proves that. Sometimes the better guy loses. That's just the way it is. But it would have been cool to be the one to take it from Bibiano, but I'm happy with taking it from Lineker later anyways.
Well, no matter what, I'm really interested to see you fight Bibiano. I feel like the skill sets are a good stylistic matchup. And that's it for me, man. Good luck on the fight this weekend. We're going to be tuned in real tight to see what you can do.
I appreciate it, man. And I think this fight with Yusup Saadulaev is like a good way to show what I could do with Bibiano, because they have a pretty similar skill set. So maybe it's a preview.
Nice.
If you got time, I know I heard the doorbell ring, but we had one more question for you from Chris here in the chat, just asking, as a wrestler, do you prefer the ring or the cage?
It really doesn't have anything to do with my wrestling, but I do prefer the cage because of the fact that I'm not a fan of, guys sticking their head outside the ropes and stuff like that and get starts. You never really get the same position back, and it kind of it changes the pace. I like to put a pin and make it miserable for them to be in there. Fought in the ring, there's been restarts because of something happening with their head being outside the ring or something like that. I know it is more viewer friendly. It looks cool and stuff like that, but I do prefer the cage.
All right. Yeah, Troy, pleasure to speak to you. I know you got a dash off to go to the weigh-ins today as well. So good luck for all of that, and good luck for fight night. We'll be watching. Can't wait to see you again, man. It's been a while. Yeah, I always love watching you fight.
You guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
All the best. Cheers, Troy. See you later.